Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. I know it's an impromptu live video. We're off schedule. I just had so much fun doing the Kitchen Table Stamper Inspiration Kitchen Challenge that I thought, I'm done with my project. Why not go live and share it with you? And the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, we have an inspiration challenge this week. There's an inspiration kitchen posted. This is our kitchen. And I challenged you guys to make a project, anything paper crafted, inspired by the kitchen. The rules are so simple. Use your Stampin' Up! Supplies to make your paper crafted project. Share in the Craft Social on the same post as the challenge picture. So just add it on as a comment. When you add your inspiration challenge, just add a picture or 2 or 3 if you need to. I have a project today that might need a few more pictures. And don't link away from the Craft Social. And when you share your inspiration challenge, tell us what inspiration you took from the kitchen. Like, let us in on your creative process a little bit. So that's the challenge, and this is the kitchen. So I was crafting today using the inspiration kitchen as my, I don't know, springboard, I guess. And so some of the things that I pulled out, I got my soft succulent designer series paper. I really love this color. It's a brand new Stampin' Up! In color. I thought it was really great with the kitchen, so I took the green color for inspiration. And then I also love the multi-color greens. We've got some little, looks almost like a ceramic something, like a cookie jar or something over in the corner here. And then the green leaves. There's a little bit of another green, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I grabbed some designer series paper, Old Olive. So those were some of the things that inspired me. I love the little pop of yellow. So, and then all the natural with the flowers and the potted herbs and stuff. So I grabbed my daisy and have some daisies with yellow centers going on in my project. I love all the wood and stone, the brown wood and stone. So after watching Stampin' Up! Video for our demonstrators today, using the, what is this one? Meadow dies and the Quiet Meadow stamp set. They did some cinnamon cider butterflies, just stamped cinnamon cider cardstock with the splatter from Quiet Meadow and then cut it out with the butterflies from the Meadow dies, and I thought that was such a cool, so I took that from the wood inspiration and from the Stampin' Up! Video. Demonstrators have more fun, by the way. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So if you've ever thought about joining, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. We just got a whole workshop and marketing plan for the Quiet Meadow bundle. It's called the bundle feature, and really inspiring, cute stuff. If you're a demonstrator and you haven't checked that out, check it out. There's really great inspiration coming from that. Some of that inspiration from today played part in my project. Let me show you, grab my project and show you what I came up with. We're going to be crafting for a little bit today. So if you need to, share with your friends so that they can come in from the beginning, because you're going to love this project. And if you need to, go grab a cup of coffee or a beverage or something. So this is my project for today. It's a little baggy book or a baggy card. Rhonda just made one. She cased one from 2007 on my old blog. I did a baggy card. It's a paper lunch bag, and she got me thinking about it. And so this is the modern version. Like, it's a 2007, it's changed a little bit, so I just modernized this baggy book a little bit. So here's the cover, right? And inside, and then in each of the ends of the baggie, we've got a little pocket. So in this pocket, we've got the seeds, and they just slide right out. You could put a gift card in there instead if you wanted to, or a little stack of family photos. This would be so gorgeous with a little stack of family photos in there. And then the back gives you some room to write. And then here you could do some more little photos or notes on the tags. But these, each side of the baggie makes a little pocket that you can tuck things in. And then it makes a gorgeous decor piece where you can stand it up and leave it displayed. You can put pictures in. It would be a gorgeous like mini scrapbook. We're going to use the bottom of the bag. So this is what's left over after we cut the bag to make the two pockets. And we're going to use this little piece inside. But it's kind of folded up in my seed packet. Doesn't want to go back in. But I didn't want to glue it in either, because then you'd have to ruin the wrapper to get the seeds out. So that's the little, and that fits right in the back pocket here. And it stands nicely. And inside one more time. All right, so you ready? We're going to do this. It's going to take a little bit. I'm going to clear this away, and we're going to start just first with building some daisies. And we're going to need 4 for this project. So I've got 2 that are already done, and I'll show you how I did them. Okay, I've got 2 Whisper Whites. I'm using up my Whisper Whites. You can use basic white, of course. I've got 2 Whisper White daisies, and then 2 Whisper White daisies and 2 Whisper White medium daisies. And I'm going to punch 1 more of each size. All right, so you need a total for this project, and I'll list the numbers because I will do a project sheet and photographs and everything for this. There will be a blog post, but altogether you're gonna need 5 of each size. And I'm just punching them from white cardstock. And then I'm gonna put together the 3 layer of each size and just show you what I did. But you'll notice that the ones for the inside layers are only 2. So this one is 2 layers of flowers, and that one's for our little seed pocket. And then this one is 2 layers, and this is for inside. All right, so I just did those ahead of time the same way I'm gonna do these. So I did do some shortcuts like that because the project is so intense. Let's see here. Basic white for my flowers, and I'm gonna roll these little petals with my bone folder. And you just want to be gentle here because you don't want to pull the petals off. They will come off pretty easy. And I'm going to roll all these petals. All right, so the other thing I'll have you notice is I'm rolling each of these petals, and I'm going to put 2 up and 1 down. Okay, so I'm going to do that with this guy too. All right, I'm taking a little liquid glue, and I'm going to glue 2 up and then 1 down. See how my petals on this one are going down towards the table, and these are going up to the sky. And then we're gonna alternate them so that you can see the petals in between. So there's 1, and then we're gonna do another one. Multi-purpose liquid glue. So 1 big, 1 little, and then 1 big one with 2 layers. And if I was doing a 2-layer flower, you see I'd put 1 up and 1 down. But since we've got the 3 layers for the outside, we'll go 2 up and 1 down. And then we give those a second to dry while we work on the centers of our flowers. All right, so we've seen my daisy punch. This one's been around for a little while, medium daisy punch. Those coordinate with Daisy Lane stamp set, which has been around for a little bit, but I really felt kind of inspired with the paper bag to bring the daisies out. I don't know why. Paper bag and daisies just kind of work for me. So we're going to use the daisy flowers to stamp our centers. I'm going to do Bumblebee cardstock, Bumblebee ink, and all we need is the center. So we're just going to ink up, stamp off the edge, and then ink up and stamp off the edge. All right. Let's get the ink out of here before I ruin anything. All right, then I've got a 3/8 inch circle punch and a 1/2 inch circle punch. Neither one of these are available from Stampin' Up. I'm using the retired 1/2 inch circle for the big daisy center, and then a 3/8 inch circle punch for the little daisy center. And a quick search on Amazon will give you either of these or both of these circle punches. They're essentials. I don't know why Stampin' Up doesn't have them anymore, except for, you know, they don't sell very. They don't sell gangbusters, and they take up a lot of office or warehouse space. So that's it. But they're kind of essentials. Hopefully you have them. If not, a quick search on Amazon will get you some circle punches. All right, so here's our flowers. We got a little center and a big center, and I'm going to do Stampin' Dimensionals for the centers. I'm going to put a little one on the back of the little flower, and then a big one on the back of the big, if I have any big ones. There we go. I feel like every time I turn around, I'm starting a new pack of dimensionals because I can't find the one I was just using. All right, so what do you guys think so far? We got our daisies. We made 4, 2 big, 2 little, 3 layers, 2 layers. And we'll slide those to the side. Now, I'm gonna do my butterflies next. I've got some cinnamon cider cardstock. I've got cinnamon cider ink. I've got the stamp, the spatter. This is from my Quiet Meadow stamp set. And I'm just going to protect my surface here because I'm going to stamp a couple of times with speckles. And then we're going to take the butterflies that are from the Meadow die set. So you can bundle that with the Quiet Meadow stamp set and save 10% when you buy both products together. And these are the 2 little butterflies from that set that we're going to use. And we're going to cut those out. Now, I already did, let's see, you need a total of 5 sets of butterflies. I did 4 ahead of time, so we're just going to do the 1 on the video here. Let me get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'll slide my little book to the side. What do you guys think? Is this a project that you would try? What do you think? Anybody think they'd try to make the baggy book? I was doing it, and I'm adding things, and oh, this one needs the tags in the pocket, and then I can't just put the seeds in there. I gotta wrap them so they look cute. And this project was just growing. It was kind of like if you give a mouse a cookie, you know. Give Marissa a baggy book, and then I've got to put all kinds of fun stuff in the pockets. So it just kept growing. All right, let's do one more bit of stamping. I'm going to pop these little dies in my magnet that I can't find. Let me put this aside. I lose dies if I don't put them right. Okay, so then I've got another die right here. This one is the branch that I'm using. Do you see this gorgeous little branch? And then there's a few other times where I used it. Let me see how many. I'm going to do 6 of these little branches. I did a bunch ahead of time. Don't worry, we're not going to do all 6, but we're going to do 1. So there's our branches. Here's our butterflies. They're all done and ready. And the branch is Old Olive cardstock with Old Olive ink. I need my measurements and notes because we're going to also stamp off one time. We're going to do 2nd generation for our leaf. This is the sprig that I'm using. I love this sprig with the daisy. I think it's a great complement to it. The butterfly was great with it too, but this is from Positive Thoughts. All right, so Old Olive ink. I'm going to stamp off and then stamp and give the ink a second to transfer because we want it to be a little rustic, but we want a good image still. So there's our branch. And we're going to cut that out with the coordinating die set. Let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again. All right, the little branch. Now here's the thing with this little guy. You want to watch and make sure that the stem is in the bottom of the window there. We want to see the stem, and then I check on a couple of other points around the branch. And I think I got it, but the phone is kind of in the way, so let's hope for the best. And give that a crank. Okay. All right, so we've got our butterflies, we've got our daisies, we've got our branches. I got a couple more butterflies in the corner over here. I did a little bit more die cutting, and I'll just show you that ahead of time. We've got 2 of this scallop stitched rectangle and 2 of this tag. All right, so this is my tailor-made tags dies, and this is the largest with the clipped corner. And I cut out 2 of these little D enforcers too. This is petal pink. All right, so I did that one ahead of time. And then my stitched scallop rectangle is stitched so sweetly. And I think it's the largest one, but here's my chart. Let's make sure. Yeah, largest one from the stitched so sweetly. 2 of each. All right, let's do a little bit of stamping on those. I'm gonna use some cinnamon cider and some old olive. And then I need to protect my surface here too. So back to my sneak peek scrap. All right, so on these guys, let me show you what we're gonna do. This is the project we're working on if you're just joining us. It's a little baggy book, and we're doing all the elements before we start assembling. These are the tags, and you can put little pictures on there. You could write some notes, whatever you want these little tags to do for your baggy book. We're gonna use that same little sprig here, stamp off, and then we're gonna stamp the bottom edge, and then same with this one, we'll stamp off and then stamp the other way. So they're not exactly the same. They're gonna be similar, but not exactly the same. Then we need that little speckle again. We're gonna bring that guy in, and we're gonna layer some ink on these. Little speckle of cinnamon cider. Awesome. Now, let me slide this out just so that it's a little bit cleaner to look at. Let's add our reinforcers. I'm going to use a little multi-purpose liquid glue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kiss these guys together. And now we've got enough glue on both of them, and it's nice and tidy. No fuss, no muss. A little faster too. So there's our, slide those forward for a second. I'm going to still stamp, but first we're going to add one of those sets of butterflies now. So we'll glue them on to our tag. Little multi-purpose liquid glue. And our tags are done. Not too bad, huh? We're cruising. I tried to do a lot of the prep work for this project ahead of time, especially the die cutting and things. And there's our tags. All right, I'm gonna pop these 2 aside, and then I'm gonna pop these 2 back in the book and show you our inside stamping. So inside we've got this little heartfelt love and caring thoughts are with you. And then we have a little space where you could do a little bit more writing if you wanted to. So we've got those 2. I'm gonna stamp my greetings. The greetings are also from Quiet Meadow. So here's the stamp set. We're gonna use the heartfelt love. We're gonna use thinking of you and this little love stamp. We'll get to the love stamp in just a second. Let's do our spatters, which means I need my fancy dancy paper here. I'm gonna do a little bit, oh, I'm flinging the lamp. A little bit of cinnamon cider off the edge and then on the bottom. So that's for the outside, and then for the inside, I'm gonna do a little bit in the bottom right corner. So we got spatters going on. And then greetings. I'm gonna do thinking of you for the inside. Right up at the top. And Heartfelt love and caring thoughts are with you. And a little bit of decoration for our inside pieces here. So I've got one of those sprigs we just die cut. We'll add that across the back panel. And a couple of butterflies. Everything needed a butterfly. As I was going, I was like, that one needs a butterfly, and that one needs a butterfly, and the other one needs a butterfly. Hopefully, though, it'll be very easy for you if you just do them all ahead of time. So there's thinking of you. We'll set that one aside. And then the heartfelt caring thoughts are with you. I'm going to do a full butterfly, but we're going to save its buddy for inside the card. Little multi-purpose liquid glue. And that one goes down on the bottom corner. And I let it go off the edge a little bit because we're going to put a sprig behind it. All right, so that one can go aside. And we'll save this guy. All right, then inside I have a little love tag on my insert, and I have a little love tag on my outside. Those are cut from Petal Pink. I did that die cutting ahead, and the die is from the Meadow dies again. So same as the little butterfly, same die set. They're both going to go with the threads to the left, and we're going to stamp love on those. All right, let's get some bows in these little tags. I have some linen thread here. They were scraps off of something else, and so they're going to make the perfect loopy bow for this. All right, and I want the twine to be a part of the design, so I'm going to trim, but I'm going to leave them kind of loopy and long. So I don't know what I started out with here, but it was a pretty good measurement. It's probably about finger to elbow. It's a nice long length. We've really got a loopy bow there. I think the twine is the perfect texture. Works with our Inspiration Kitchen too, I think. All right, love tags are gonna get dimensionals on back. And while I'm doing some dimensionals, I'm gonna put dimensionals on the back of my 3-layer daisies. So we made some 3-layer daisies, we made some 2-layer daisies. See, this one's got 3 layers of petals, this one's got 2. The 2 go on inside, so we wanna leave those, we'll glue them on flat. But the ones that go on the outside, we're gonna put a dimensional on. So these 3-layer ones will just now be peel and stick. All right, so I think we've got a lot of our elements done here. Let's take a look. I think we're ready to start playing with our baggie. So I've got a paper lunch bag here. That's all it is. Let me show you if I've got them handy. I think I do. All right, so this is just, it's a regular size one. It's not a jumbo lunch bag. All right, so keep that in mind because there are jumbo ones and they will be much, much bigger than this. You want just, this is mine, and I think I got them at Aldi. They're the regular size lunch bag. Don't get a jumbo lunch bag unless you do it on purpose, but then you'll have to rework your designer series paper measurements because I'm going to give you all of those in a project sheet so you don't have to recreate the wheel. Okay, so we've got our paper lunch bag here, and we're going to do this. So you see, this is the bottom flap. We're going to fold like that and grab our paper trimmer. Our finished bag is about 8 3/8 wide or long, but we're going to do some fancy edge. So we want to do a little bit more than that. We want to cut this away, keeping in mind that we want enough room to cut the edges. So I'd say 8 3/8. Yeah, if you cut it at 9 inches, just about with these little boulder bags, that should work. But what we're doing is we're cutting off this bottom piece of the bag. Now hold on to this because this right here is this wrapper. that you can wrap up whatever you want. You can put a gift card in there. You can put a little card inside so a little card pulled out with a gift card inside, little stack of photographs, whatever you want to do. But this is this. This is this. So set this aside, okay? Was that clear as mud? And this is the base of our bag book. Looks really fancy, doesn't it? All right, so we've got our bag. Now, the next thing you want to do is your edging. And I've got that brand new edge dies. All right, so I've got this scallopy edge, and it's from the new Basic Borders dies. So you get, let's see here, 2, 4, 6 borders. They have a little bit different stitching. You can choose whichever one you want. I like this one because it's super easy to follow. I want my scallop edges to be my brown bag, and it'll be super easy to follow with the designer series paper. We're gonna cut this a couple of times. I was gonna do some of them ahead of time, but I thought it'd be a little bit easier to follow along if I just did it. So I did other things like build daisies ahead of time. So bear with me, we're gonna cut this edge twice on the bag and then twice on the designer series paper before we assemble. I'm gonna get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to cut, now here's the thing. This is going to get folded off center, you see? And now these are your front surfaces. This page you want to be about 4 inches. Okay, and let me get my ruler behind me here. Make sure it's good. Yeah, it's a little bit more than 4, and that's good because we're going to cut the edge. So what you want to keep in mind when you're cutting the edges on these are your outside edges. Okay, so you want to cut this side, but then when you cut this one, so you'll cut this side this way. What I'm saying is you want the finished edge to be forward. So that's the finished edge, but then you have to turn over the bag and cut the finished edge on this side too. All right, so let's just do it. I've explained it, now let me show you. Probably show you better than I could explain it. All right, so then our bag is gonna be about 5 1/8 inches. That's what this lunch bag is. Hopefully yours will be too. And that leaves us with the 3rd scallop is where the edge of the bag intercepts on both sides. And when I got it, I like to stick it down with a little bit of low-tack tape so that it stays centered and straight. So we're just gonna tack that down and crank it. So this is the front cover of our bag. I'll go part way, and then I'm going to go back again. Now we're going to cut the other end off of the bag too. So look at how pretty that is with the stitch and the finish. So we want to flip our bag so we get that pretty side on this too. Now keep in mind, because of the lunch bag, it's got the little thumb notch here. So we got to cut a little bit more off of this side than we did off of the front side. But we'll have that same centering, just a little bit through that 1 2/3 scallop. Can tack that down. I think that's going to be pretty good for that thumb notch in the back. We'll find out for sure in just a minute. Trying to use my x-ray vision here. And we want to preserve as much of the bag as we can too. So we're getting close to that edge. All right, looks pretty good. Let's give it a crank. All right, let's pull it out and see. Yep. Look, I just made it. That's winning right there. Do you see that? All right, so there's our baggy book. This is the base of our book. And now, designer series paper. You have 3 pieces and we're gonna edge them. So, let me show you what we've got here. For inside the book, I've got one piece that's 5 by 6, one piece that's 5 by 3, and we're gonna edge on the opposite ends of the paper. So let's do our inside pieces first. Got a mess of edges around here. All right, one at a time. We're gonna do this. So this is the 5-inch side. That's the edge that we wanna cut off. We wanna leave this 6-inch side intact. All right, let's make sure that it's nice and we're gonna cut the scallops off of this, but this stitch edge that it leaves will give us a nice guide for cutting the same angle so it matches up. So tack that down. Uh-oh, not centered on the plate. There we go, tack that down and cut the edge. I love this scallop die, so pretty. But we're actually just using it right now as a guide for this edge. So then what we'll do is we'll take a pair of scissors and cut a straight edge right behind the stitches. You want to cut off the stitches entirely. You can do that with a paper trimmer if you want to. But now you've got the perfect angles to line up in the stitches on your bag. See that? All right, so I gotta do that one more time for the inside and one time for the outside. And we're done with our edges, yay! Let me get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out of here and get our baggie book in here. All right, so here's our bag book. This is the front Designer Series paper piece. And I'm gonna just do like we did with the inside pieces and trim right along. If you wanted to grab your paper trimmer and kind of whisk these off, you can do that. So for my inside piece, I'm gonna get some dry adhesive. And what I'm gonna do is on the smaller piece, I'm gonna put a strip of dry adhesive. Then I'm gonna lay it inside so that it's dry fit where I want it to land. And then this side, same thing, dry fit where I want it to land, and line up the edges. We're making one piece of paper here out of 2. There should be a little bit of an overlap. And feel pretty good about that. It's not gonna be perfect, but not because necessarily your edge isn't perfect or this baggie is a paper lunch bag. It might be a little off here or there, so don't fret it. Just get it in there as nicely as you can. Now, because I'm a nut, bear with me, because what I did was stitched where those 2 papers come together. Do you see my little zigzag stitching? So I'm just gonna run that through the sewing machine really quick. I have it right here next to me. I'm not gonna try to bring it into the camera, but hang on one second and I'll be right back, okay? If you don't wanna stitch, that is a-okay. Grab your piercing tool and then just pierce along and draw with a gel pen. You can do like a faux stitch. Grab the new Stitchery stamp set and just stamp a little stitch there. Or if you wanted to, get another decorative edge and overlap a decorative edge. There's things that you can do instead of stitching. But I felt like the feel of this book with the lunch bag paper and the daisies really worked well with the sewing machine. And I pulled it out for a different project. So thought, why not? All right, I'm going to use dry adhesive here. You could use liquid, but it's going to take you a second to get it to dry. And dry adhesive is just instant gratification. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm sticking my ends of my thread in the adhesive. And then we're going to bring it right back in here. All right, so we've got our paper. It's like one piece now, so we're going to do our very best to get it nice and centered. And stick that down. Okay. And then we're gonna fold, and we want this front piece to be about 4 inches or so, and just a little bit of soft succulent peeking out. And so we'll go down and crease that. And then I need a bone folder. I'm gonna give that a good crease. So here's our card inside, outside. Here's our paper. And now we're going to adhere the outside paper, kind of centered on. And I'm going to use the same dry adhesive. You can use a wet one here if you wanted to, but I am going to stitch through it all again. So I'm just avoiding that very far straight edge. Let's see here. All right, so there's our front cover. And then I'm going to bend back about 1/4 of an inch. And work that with my bone folder. So we've got a little spine there. You see our little spine? Now we can do just the tiniest little bit of glue. Really less is more there, because when you go by with your sewing machine on this edge, you don't want to gunk up your machine. So it kind of left us a gap where we're gonna stitch. All right, let me show you what we're making, and then I'm gonna stitch the spine. So this is what we're making today. A fun little baggy card made from a paper lunch bag. And I will post this live video so you can catch from the beginning if you like, as soon as we're done. So here's where we just folded up, right? And I'm gonna just run a stitch on there. It's a lunch bag. Got a little spot for some tags in the first pocket. Inside, we've got some decoration and a place for a message. Got another pocket here, and this is the bottom of the bag. We cut off the bottom of the bag and used it to make a little seed wrapper. That fits right in the bottom pocket here. And that's our little project for today. This is great. All right, let me run a quick stitch on there. I'm going to switch to a straight stitch and just go right down the edge. All right. And now our little book is bound. We can reinforce that fold and trim the excess off the stitches. I love the stitches with the daisies. So there's the base of our little booklet. All right, let's decorate the front of our booklet. Remember, we have our daisies. So this is the ones with the 3 petals, rows of petals. And we did these ahead of time. The little sprigs, we need 2 of those. Our little tag. And then 1 each of the butterfly. This is our sample. Let's slide this all aside. Get that in there so you can see. I'm going to do liquid glue for my sprigs. We'll put them down first. And I want one almost up to the top here. And then a second one. I'm going to come in kind of at an angle, a little bit lower. I love this project. Anybody else thinking that they might try the bag book? I hope that you will. And if you do, I hope you'll share it on the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social. And then we're going to add our daisy. And we've already put some dimensionals on those. So we're going to add them with the dimensionals. And then we put some dimensionals on our tag. There's a little bit of stem that's sticking out below our daisies. So we'll add the tag there. It looks kind of like it's tied to the stem. Our butterflies, cinnamon cider. They were spattered with some cinnamon cider ink. I'm going to put them on with dimensionals. We've got our 2 little butterflies. I think I want this guy up a little bit more, but that ship might have sailed. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh, maybe. Maybe. Aha. This guy's going to go up a little higher. There's the outside. We did our tags a little bit earlier. Hold on to that. We can pop the little tags in there. A little cutie. And if you wanted to, if you still wanted it book bound, kind of like it is here, what you do is you do that crease like I showed you. Grab a small hole punch. Punch a hole about maybe 1 inch from the bottom, 1 inch from the top, and then you would tie together with ribbon. So you can still do a book bound edge without stitching, Or you can do your book bound edge by doing that crease like I showed you, and then put tear and tape in the crease and then burnish that down. So you can still have a book bound edge even without the stitching. All right, so don't let this sewing machine stop you from trying the baggy book, because you definitely don't need to do it. And then after you put the tear and tape in there, you get your stitchery stamp set and you stamp a stitch line on. Okay, I am feeling very out of my depth with my sewing machine too. I know what you mean. I just been buzzing along with it and hoping for the best. All right, so we've done the outside. We've got our tags in. Now let's look at the inside. Got a blank canvas here. This is what we're gonna do. We've done a little flower. This one's got 2 layers instead of 3 since it's inside. I love that this can just stand and display itself. It does not fold super flat. This is not going to be easy to mail. If you mail this, you're going to have to consider putting it in like a bubble mailer and mailing it as a small package. It's more of a hand deliver kind of a thing, or put it in a care package. We need another 2 sprigs. We're going to do 1 on each side. And then 4 butterflies. We got the 2. And then another set. Right? And then our greeting, we stamped that one in cinnamon cider ahead. Let's go ahead and adhere all of this with multi-purpose liquid glue. All right, I'm gonna put that out of the way for just a minute so we can open up wide. Now the first thing you wanna do is, with your greeting handy and the leaves, we're gonna put some glue on the leaves. We're gonna dry fit our greeting, and then we're gonna slide our leaves into place where we want them, keeping in mind that we're going to see them from this front side on this edge over here. Then we can take our glue and put the inside greeting panel in over top of those greenery. And before I burnish it down strong, I'm just going to make sure I like the way it looks when it's closed, and even without the tags. I do. And everything is going to shift a little based on your paper bag, because they're not super precision. So you might have a little book that's a little 1/8 of an inch longer than the other one, depending on how the bag came together at the factory. So you got to be able to shift your measurements just a little bit and your placement just a little bit. I need a little more glue in this corner. All right, then our decorative side here, I'm going to put a little branch, and I want an angle on that. A little multi-purpose liquid glue. And then same with our flower. We're going multi-purpose liquid glue here, and we're gonna smash it down a little bit in the center. Oh, I've already got one of my butterflies on. We did that when we did the stamping. All right, then a few more butterflies. Got these little sideway dude that's gonna go here with its buddy, and then another set on this side. All right, this guy right here can kind of go up over. Don't want to cover all that stitching. I did, after I'll take the time to get out the sewing machine, but we're gonna accentuate. There it is. All right, so here is outside, inside. And then what we have left now is our little seed pocket. I was gonna just put the seeds in the back, and I was like, that's kind of screaming. You know what I mean? That 4 for 1 really is like a poke in the eye, and the colors didn't work. So I had this left, right? What we're gonna do is open this guy up, okay? And then we're going to press down, see, from the top corners we're going to press down and crease, see? Okay, and then from the bottom corners we're going to press up and crease. So now you've got this, like, what is that, octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, it's octagon. And if you're smart, which I didn't do in the first one, you might add just a little bit of, let's go multi-purpose liquid glue. It'll be really easy to get in there. A little multi-purpose liquid glue in there. and press down, because when I'm putting my seeds back in, that's what they're getting caught on. So if you just add a little glue in here, you know, mother of invention here, do it a couple of times and you start to realize what it really needs. This will, I think, stop that catching when you're trying to put something back into the pocket. All right, so you got our cute little octagon from the bottom of the bag, and I'm sticky now. And then I'm gonna use my seeds as a guide, because it's gonna be just, the seeds are just a little bit wider than the bottom of the bag was. So we're gonna rework these creases. It's not gonna meet in the middle, that's okay. Oh, this one does, look at that, not bad. Like I said, these bags are all just a little bit different. They don't have the strictest of standards for size. All right, so there's our little seed pack. We can pull that out. I'm gonna put them back in here for now. And we've got one more piece of Designer Series paper. This one is 1 3/4. See, that's where I keep getting caught. So if you put some glue in there, like we just did, I think that's gonna rock our world. Yeah, we definitely need some glue in there. All right, so there's our little packet again. Designer Series paper, 1 3/4 by 5 inches. And we're going to add some adhesive on the brown paper, and then put the belly bands even so that your ends overlap. Then you'll fold to the back. You can use a bone folder here if you want to kind of reinforce that. It'll behave better when you try to glue it down. All right, then another little bit of glue. You can use multi-purpose liquid glue here too. And adhere. All right, so there's a little bit earlier we made this adorable thinking of you panel. So we can put that guy on the back. And I was very generous with the glue here because it is a little bit lumpy, because this is the bottom of our bag. That's where all the seams come together. So be generous and add your little second space. Now this is a really good place for a little message, a date. If you're gonna put some photos in there, you could add a little caption, a little date. So now you've got your little pocket. And we have our 2-layer daisy here. I'm gonna do that. Oh, I dropped one of my green sprigs, I think. Ah, there it is. I'm gonna do the flower and the sprig with liquid glue. And we want to make sure that we do a pretty good job here, because we don't want this catching as we put it in and out of the pocket. So there's our sprig, our flower. Again, a nice generous liquid glue in the center. And I got my little love tag. I'll just tuck that right in. There's your little pocket. All right, let's get the bag. We did it. Can you believe it? That was a big project. We had a lot to do today. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I haven't done a project like this in a while. All right, so here's our book. Inside our back pocket fits the little pocket from the bottom of the bag. You can put a gift card in there. You could probably put some candies in there. I wonder if the Moser Roth bars that I love so much from Aldi, they're kind of short candy bars. Oh, I bet that would fit in there. I don't know if I have any. I think I ate them all. That was a confession. But this little guy will fit right in your back pocket here. And then if you want to, you can stand and display this. It stands awesome. Put this one back in this pocket. And that's our baggie book, or our baggie card, really. There you go. What do you guys think? It was so much fun to make. Oh my gosh. I wonder, now after watching me make it, do you have courage to make one yourself? There's the inspiration from the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social. This is our Inspiration Kitchen, and this is the project that I came up with for that Inspiration Kitchen. If you guys have any questions about the project, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. And to get the products that we use today, Stampin' Up products, you can shop marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. And yeah, join the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social if you're not already in there, and give the baggie book a try, or the Inspiration Kitchen, and share with us. We'd love to see what you're up to. All right, you guys, have a great night. Thanks for joining me on the surprise. It was so much fun. What a great day at work. And you guys make it all possible. I love my job, and it would be nothing if it weren't for you. So thanks for spending time with me tonight. I'll see you guys, let's see here, Thursday at 2 p.m. in the Craft Social for Mystery Card. So if Inspiration Kitchen wasn't enough fun and games for you, join us for Coffee and a Mystery Card on Thursday at 2. I'll be posting the clues Wednesday afternoon. And Friday at noon, I'll be live again. All right, guys, good night. Have a good evening.